Hey everyone, welcome to my video for the Something Old Something New YouTube hop from card making YouTubers on Facebook if you're interested in joining. My something old that I'm using is this die set by Honeybee Stamps called Bitty Buzzwords, and I'm going to use the word thanks because the theme for November is thanks and harvest. And my something new is this 49 Market Birdsong washi tape sheets. I bought this in the summer at my local scrapbook store and I have not used it yet, so this is exciting. I'm going to use that panel, and that's basically going to be the background for my card today. I have plenty of washi tape that I use periodically on different projects, but I have never used washi tape sheets before. So this sheet here has a lot of to me it looks like background panel type material. So I am going to bring out my paper trimmer because I just want to trim that rectangle off. That basically fits perfectly, well, almost perfectly on an A2 sized panel. And I usually like to have a little bit of a white border around my panel anyways, like on my card. So this will be perfect because I believe when I trim it down here, it is 4 inches. And then it's longer, but I'm going to trim it down probably to 4 by 5¼ inches. And that way it will fit nicely on my 4.5 or 4¼ by 5.5 inch card base and leave a nice white border. So I'm just laying it on here, lining it up to see what where I want to stick it, what I need to trim. And I do love how vibrant those colors look with the white background. They really stand out. So I figured probably the best way to do this was to peel up one corner of that washi tape and so that I can position it on the panel. So I was just struggling a little bit to get that sticker peeled up. So I'm just using a little scraping tool to get that off. And then once I get that corner peeled up, I'm going to come in with my scissors and I'm just going to cut off a small corner of that backing sheet. That way I can lay that washi tape sheet on my panel and get it lined up exactly where I want it before sticking that one corner down, and then that helps me to know my positioning. So I just about have it in the right spot. I think I do move it over just a little bit because I wanted a little bit more of that butterfly on there. And then once I have it lined up, I am going to stick that corner down. That way I can peel the rest of it up and then start peeling the backing off. And very gently, as I peel the backing off, I'm going to smooth that sticker onto the panel. And just do it nice and slow so I don't get any wrinkles in there. And this actually went on really nicely. And actually it even looks more vibrant, like the colors really look more vibrant than even with the backing on there. So I'm loving how this is working, and this is proving to be a very easy card to make because that background is basically done for me. So once I make sure that everything is stuck down nicely, I am going to come in with my paper trimmer again. I'm just going to lift that panel up. There's washi tape a little bit on either side of it that's kind of stuck to my glass mat. So I'm just going to carefully trim those edges off. And then I'll bring out my card base and measure it up and see how much more I need to trim off. And I do realize that this background panel here, sticker, looks way more like spring or summery than what you would think for a thanks and harvest theme in November. My reasoning for that being that the theme is thanks and harvest, I'm going with the thanks theme because I am in Canada and we had Thanksgiving last month and our harvest is well over by November. So my Thanksgiving cards and harvest type cards are already long gone. So I went with the thanks theme for this. So I'm just basically making a thank you card. So I think it's almost kind of the right size. I'm just going to pull in my card here and just see I do need to trim a little bit more. So I just wanted to keep most of that blue butterfly in that top corner. So I just trimmed a tiny bit there, and then I'll trim a little more off of the other side here. And I think that's it for the trimming. So let's just bring that card base in again, line everything up again, and just make sure that I'm happy with it. And I did decide that this fit quite well. So I'm going to put my paper trimmer away. And I'm going to work on my die cutting. Just cleaning up a bit first. So I'm grabbing my die set from Honeybee Stamps there, and I'm just pulling out the word thanks. And these dies all have the word plus the little shadow for the word. I don't know what the real terminology for that is. I always just call it a shadow. So I've cut them out in black and in white because I wasn't sure if I wanted a black word on a white shadow or a white word on a black shadow. So I'm a visual type of person that like I need to see it physically in front of me to decide if that's how I like it. I can't see it in my head, so I have to like cut out two and kind of lay them on there, see which one I like, which one I decide to go with. So, I mean, really, the white word on the black shadow and the black word on the white shadow both will work wonderfully for multiple projects. So whatever one I don't end up using is going to go into my little dish of die cut sentiments that I sometimes just randomly pull out and use on a card. So I realized the thanks is up too high because it's covering a part of the bird's face there. So I just moved it down a bit, seeing if I like that one, and then I will switch to the other one. And I mean, they both work, but I like the black word on the white shadow better for this particular card. So I will set that extra one over in my bin for a later project. And now it's time to start assembling. So I'm going to take my reversible tweezers there to hold my word. And that way I can add my Bearly Art glue onto that word with its nice fine precision tip. And once I get the glue lining all of the letters there, which takes a little bit, but once it is done, I will flip that over and adhere that onto the little shadow there. And that worked out wonderfully. Line it upright, give it a nice press. And that is good to go. And next I'm going to line up the panel on the card base. Take my time to make sure that it's straight. And then once I'm happy with the positioning, I will peel up the one side of the panel, holding the other side in place. And then I will add some glue to all the edges there and to the base itself. And then give that side a good press. And then I will flip it around and repeat that process until the other side is nicely adhered down. Okay, that's looking good. So now it is time to add the sentiment, but I decided I wanted a little bit of dimension on there. Not enough to put foam tape, but I decided I'm just going to take the shadow die from that word again, and I'm going to cut one more layer of white cardstock out, but I had to put the stopper in my glue first so it didn't clog. And there's that die cut piece. And that will just give it a tiny bit more thickness just to make it stand out just a little bit more against that background. So I'm just going to glue those two pieces together. And it's really easy to line these dies up. Yeah, I think that just helps it stand out a little bit better. So now it is time to adhere the sentiment onto the card. So adding some more Bearly Art glue. And then positioning that thanks onto that card. Giving it a nice press. And this card is done. So thank you for joining me on this Something Old, Something New YouTube hop, which is put on by Annette, and you can find her on Card Making YouTubers on Facebook. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful, peaceful day.